Everyone, happy Monday. Hope you're all doing good and you enjoyed the weekend. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, please. Right, I think some thank yous are in order before we get going. Where is my slide now? Thank you everyone for 17,000 subscribers. You are amazing. 17,000 of you are so kind and giving and generous and present. And here you are. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you are listening to me flap my gum about the Royals. And it really, really warms my heart, guys. It really warms my heart that here you are. Listening to me flap my gums about this dysfunctional family. I mean, hey. But no, on a serious note, I am so grateful for this community. It is grown into something that is so much more than just talking about the pettiness, the shade, the drama, and yes, on sometimes on more serious days, the social, political aspects of this unreal mafia that are essentially a branch of UK government. And I love that actually we have a community that embraces all of those conversations, from the petty to the funny to the more serious as well. I'm so glad that we're a community that can actually laugh sometimes, but get serious sometimes. And also that we have been inspired to give. I think that's what's the most important thing actually about the Sussex Core community when it comes down to it. So for all of your kindness, thank you so much. And I'm proud of this community more than anything because we have essentially created our own news networks and outlets, some of which are starting to become bigger than the mainstream news outlets. And that is actually something that I had never imagined when I joined the Sussex Squad. For me, it was really just about giving back and having conversations about other roles that perhaps the mainstream media doesn't have. But I never actually imagined that we would be um outpacing them so much that now we're seeing them even come after the squad. So hats off to all of us, and I appreciate you all so much. And yes, that is a close up of Meghan's epic bow to Her Majesty at the funeral, and I bow to you, my deepest bow to all of you for being so kind. Thank you. Thank you so much, Church Nelly. Hey, hey. This, I mean, this right here, this is one of my favorite pictures I think I've ever had on a slide. I mean, it's the same damn energy, is it not? Same energy. The Simpsons predicting the fate of the royal family once again. Uh, thank you everyone for your congratulations. Okay, let's get on with it. I haven't got too much to talk about today, so let's just rush through with some updates. Harry is still dominating the charts with his book Spare. Over 90,000 reviews on Amazon and still in the top 10 in comparison to our dear William here, who had a whole book written about him for his 40th birthday by Rob Jobson. And he's 678 reviews. What was so funny about Rob Jobson's book is that it seemed to be more about Harry than it was about William. But congrats to Harry reigning in the charts as always. Also, shout out to the squaddy who found this. This is a throwback from Meghan's old Instagram. So thank you, Louis Vuitton, for sending such beautiful options for tonight. Hey guys, which one should I wear tonight to be on Craigie Ferg? And yet some people out here want to claim that Meghan wanted their so-called fashion contacts. My good sis got sent 4 shoes from Louis Vuitton. And she probably has designers throwing clothes at her. Even more now than they did before she was a royal, but even before she was a royal, here we go. The Louis Vuitton sending her shoes. I'm so jealous of anyone who was following Meghan before she married into the Unroyal Mafia. Like the TIG era was really something, and I hope that she can bring it back. There are websites that have archived articles of the TIG, so you can really see what Meghan was doing before her royal life, and she was really doing a lot. So I hope she brings something like that back. There is a Instagram account which is just Meghan, which has been idle for some time. I think at one point a squaddy managed to screenshot her makeup artist and can't remember one of her friends, can't remember who it was, but they screenshotted one of her friends following that account. So that's when people got suspicious that that could be her actual Instagram account that she may reactivate at some point. And I hope she does come back to Instagram. It will be very easy to get some community moderators and to just block out the haters. So I hope we see her again on Instagram if she doesn't ever bring back the TIG or anything like it. Okay, so Mr. Biden visited Charles. Camilla was nowhere to be seen. People have noted, I don't know what that is, but he was meeting Charles, and the so-called royal protocol set had a hissy fit about Mr. Biden and his close contact, which is literally just a pat on the back. I don't know how you can call that close contact. Like dudes do that all the time. Like, hey mate, a pat on the back. the whole protocol thing just makes them look outdated and just ridiculous. But anyway, a so-called Buckingham Palace source, our palace sources, said King Charles was entirely comfortable with that kind of contact and pointed out the close contact was a wonderful symbol of warmth and affection between the pair and their nations. And the only thing that I have to say in response to this so-called Buckingham Palace source is, can the people of the United Kingdom pay their gas bills? Can they pay their gas bills yet? They're happy to release a statement or through a source, through a palace source, about something as small and just insignificant about Joe Biden, patting our national grandpa on the back. But anything actually serious happening in this family, nothing. Like, no statement, no palace sources leaking about how terrible it is that you've had these two terrorists being charged for saying horrendous things about Archie, but we can leak about something as ridiculous as this. What do I even say to that? Anyway, that's what Omid tweeted. And speaking of Omid, the tabloid press, no surprises, is going after him. Of course, Omid was brave enough to testify in the recent, phone hacking trials, and he's writing a book about the royal family called Endgame. So here comes the tabloid press. Here comes that not so invisible contract coming after Omid, and they wrote this really weird story titled "Omid's Total Transformation. His sycophantic portrayal of the Sussexes means they trust him to tell their truth. What will they make of the news? He lied about his age, changed his looks, barely talks about his seedy old K-pop site. I have no idea what they're talking about with that K-pop site. I really don't care. As for Omid changing his looks, people change their looks all the time. As for Omid being a friend of the Sussexes, that has been debunked a million times. Oh, I really feel sorry for Omid. He did the right thing for coming forward, and we need journalists to have a balanced take of what's happening within the royal households and what's happening with this firm. And I really do feel that Omid is balanced. I don't feel that he ever um, attacks the royals, even when sometimes they deserve it. I think he really does just he just critiques them as fairly as a fair journalist would. Um, and he's been the only one to be fair and balanced when it comes to Harry and Meghan. Whereas, the other royal rotarats only just attack Harry and Meghan. That's all they do. And they're not even interested in the truth. They're just interested in getting clicks and views at this point. So all they're really doing by attacking Omid here is helping with his book sales. That's all they're doing. But Kaiser wrote this on Celebrity. They said there's good and bad news happening with Omid Scobie. The good news is that the British media will absolutely commit to giving Scobie's book Endgame millions of dollars in free publicity by talking about Scobie and the book for months ahead of Endgame's November release. And they do this every single darn time. They really think they're doing something by attacking the person, and all they're doing is giving him free publicity. If you're gonna buy the publicity that Omid is getting for this book, if you're going to pay a PR person, that would be thousands on a retainer every single month. He doesn't have to do that at all. He can just sit back and wait for the book's release and get his paycheck. The good news is that even though the media is attempting to smear and degrade Scobie, he doesn't have to stay quiet. He can issue corrections and give interviews and speak his mind. The bad news, holy ish, they are really going after him, like they're trying to destroy his career, his credibility, his livelihood, and a lot more. I was going to excerpt from This Messy Smear Job, but it reads like someone gave confusing and racist parameters to an AI chatbot. The males, oh wait, hang on a sec. I think someone is, hang on a sec, folks. So sorry, folks. Somebody knocked at my door. Okay, so where was I? The Mail seems to be saying that Scobie ran a K-pop site which objectified women, unlike the Mail, right? And that's something something. The Duchess of Sussex isn't a real feminist because Omid Scobie. The Mail piece, once again, um, God, I can't even see my screen properly. Litigates the sourcing on Finding Freedom, like there wasn't a huge court case won by Meghan about all of that and more. Anyway, I stopped reading the article at some point, so I missed the reference about a gold Range Rover. But Scobie gave the story the time and attention it deserved, and this was his 8-word response. As if I'd get a gold Range Rover. Exactly. As if Omid would ever get a gold Range Rover. Definitely strikes me as more as a Porsche or a Jaguar guy. So sorry to Omid for the absolute torture that he's going to go through between now and November, but it's all going to be worth it because that book is going to sell like hotcakes. Um, okay, on to the next thing. This whole story about this BBC star who was allegedly for the lawyers listening, because the story keeps changing, abusing a young teen and paying him for, you know, explicit photos. So this came out, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and that the person had been suspended. So people were like, "Oh, I guess on Monday we might find out who it is." But the BBC are remaining very hush hush, and this obviously prompted some stars from the BBC to come out and say it wasn't me. And one of the first people that actually got accused, or people thought, oh, maybe this is who it is, was Jeremy Vine. But Jeremy Vine has come out and said, I'm very much looking forward to hosting my radio show on Monday. Whoever the BBC presenter is in the news, I have the same message for you as Ryland did earlier. It certainly isn't me. And Ryland Clark, who's also a BBC presenter, came out and said, not sure why my name's floating about. Read that story in The Sun, but that ain't me. I'm currently filming a show in Italy for the BBC. So take my name out your mouths. And then Gary Lineker also came out and said, hate to disappoint you haters, but it's not me. Now, I don't really watch mainstream news and haven't done probably for a good decade. Even with royal news, I mostly just get the clips off the internet. So I don't really know who, are the prominent faces on the BBC of the different shows. So I couldn't, give you what my guess is because I don't really know who's on the telly nowadays, other than the Royal Rota Rats that come up on my royal feed, which is why I know who they are. But otherwise, I really don't know, who most of the BBC stars are. So if anybody else would like to drop, guesses in the comment section, go right ahead. But I honestly couldn't tell you now that, 3 of the big guns have said it wasn't me, who it was. However, just in the last hour, the lawyer for the young person says that the mother's accounts of events is rubbish and nothing inappropriate happened. Now, granted, I think the person was, they were saying like 16, 17 when this happened. Of course, I think the UK, the age of consent is, I think, is 16. But of course, what the law says doesn't always match up to what is morally correct. And an older person taking advantage of someone much younger is just not appropriate, and it's not okay. And if it is true that this person was, soliciting, inappropriate pictures and paying the person off, then clearly this was a very, very inappropriate relationship, regardless of whether or not the person was over the age of consent or not, in my opinion. This is the type of relationship that should not happen. And to me, it does seem like an older and more powerful person abusing their power. However, the person in question is now saying that they feel that it was inappropriate. I do wonder if this just means that the person is being paid off, or the person is being silenced, because it sure is a huge turnaround from, what was it, like Friday the story broke, where the mother was saying that, her teenager's life has been ruined, and now today, the person coming out and saying that the mother's accounts were rubbish. So I don't know what's going on here. I think people rightly feel very suspicious because of just how often the BBC have protected predators, whether it's Jimmy Savile, um, and also the Tim Westwood situation, which is still going on. There's still investigating reports about that. So once again, regardless of what this young person might feel now, I would still say this was a much younger person in some kind of relationship with a much older person that was inappropriate, and that shouldn't be allowed to slide. So I guess with this one, all we can do is just wait and see, uh, whether or not the person just gets a payout and this goes away, or um, it turns into something else. But very suspicious of the BBC because it's not the first time we've heard of allegations like this, of course. Right, let's go through some of your comments. Thank you so much, Carol Lund, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Joe Bloggs, who said, let them go after Omid if they are brave. I think it's a huge mistake. Every time they do this or do something like this, it just backfires. Yeah, Caroline, the media are stupid and petty. And where is Piers Morgan? Piers Morgan is busy interviewing the female versions of Andrew Tate to try and get clicks and views so that Talk TV doesn't get taken off the airs. That's what Piers Morgan is doing. That's what he's preoccupied with at the moment. So I can't understand why people are not seeing through the British media's crap. I can understand to a certain degree because up until I started getting into the royal newsbeat, up until really Meghan entered the royal family, I didn't understand how crap the British media was either. It's something that if you grow up with it, it's just very normalized. You don't question it. But at this point, I do think you're right in that there comes a point, especially as a grown adult, where you do have to start questioning what is why does the media only have a one-sided narrative about certain things? And Anna, I hope it's your knight in shining armor. Were you referring to the person knocking at the door? No, that was not my knight in shining armor. That was the very nice Turkish lady who I'm living with, who cooks for me. She's so sweet. Rahini, doesn't Omid drive a black Alpha Spider? Sounds like the type of car that Omid would drive for sure. Something sleek and stylish. Because goodness knows he's got the money for it. Yeah, the sales are going to be off the chart. Right up there with Spare. Light side, you said as soon as Omid book flaws, the other hateful UK tabloid journalists are going to pounce on him even more. Unfortunately so, but like I said, they're just adding to curiosity about the book. Because even people that don't like Harry and Meghan will read this book. Just to see what he says. Jill, someone suggested the name starts with a W. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know who the BBC News anchors are. So, okay, I can see. Okay, some of you are putting names in the chat, but I'm not going to say them out loud, in case the lawyers come after me. Okay, I see some names. Yeah, I see some names. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like someone is doing a PR job. Jenna, does it really matter? Would you want your teenager in this type of relationship with a grown person, regardless of age and consent? Broadcasters closing ranks with predators. Yes. Like for me, regardless of what the law says, it's not appropriate. Period. Um, and you're right. Nobody would want their teenager in a relationship like this. The fact that he has to um offer this person payments, that right there is wrong. Yeah, Rahini, I think that was a payout as well. I think that's what this is. Because the fact that they're attacking the mother also. Very unfortunate. Um yeah, legs, like it seems like there's a lot of predators and they're protected. And have you noticed how the whole Philip Schofield thing has just gone quiet? Quiet, quiet, quiet. Alan, he said, "Hey, look at it this way: we are not talking about Willie and Silly in the polo field anymore." Oh gosh, I actually did have a slide. Wait, where is it? Help me, please. I'm bored. Please, Harry and Meghan. Please come out with a project. I want to talk about anything other than the other royals or the shenanigans of the BBC. All right, folks, I'm gonna wrap things up. Um, that's all I wanted to say. I'll just go through your comments. Thank you so much, Lottie, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you, everyone, for your generosity. You are amazing. Amazing, amazing. Appreciate you so much. Oops, give me one sec, folks. Computer appears to be freezing. Just want to get through some of your comments before we jump off. Oh, someone's saying, Squaddies, don't put names in the chats. Lawyers are going after people on YouTube and Twitter. Okay. Oh dear. Unfortunately, actually, I wouldn't even say unfortunately. I'd say fortunately because predators need to be outed. This does actually happen all the time. That the person's name does get shared around on social media. I think there's only so much they can do in those situations. So yeah, if I get a letter, I'll just I'll just start deleting your messages from the chat box. But I'm not too bothered if I'm honest. Legs, thank you so much for that, and thank you all of our 17,000 subscribers. Can't believe it. Yes, hit the thumbs up button on the way out. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Black Cougar, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you. And thank you also to the members. All right. Going to end things there. Thank you, folks. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you so much, Madwa. You all are really looking out for me. Looking out for me because you know the lawyers are listening. Thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Much appreciated. All right. I'll end things there and I'll see you tomorrow, folks. Ciao.